Yeah, tonight we're digging for old. It's our weekly segment here on The Story where we take a look at some artifacts from Oregon's history in partnership with the Oregon Historical Society. For the past few weeks, we've been taking a tour inside the Oregon Historical Society's secret vault. It's a hidden warehouse where OHS stores thousands of items from Oregon's past, keeping them safe and preserved. If you missed our first two installments of the tour, you can check them out on our KGW YouTube channel. Just search for Digging for Old. Tonight, though, we've got part 3 of our tour. Just take a look.
Now, you might think you've entered King Tut's tomb here when you see this item here. And this design here, this whole work, presided over the Aladdin dining room at the Lloyd Center, Meyer and Frank, what used to be the Lloyd Center, Meyer and Frank. For some reason, they had an Egyptian-themed dining room, the Aladdin. And so this was straight from that. Of course, Meyer and Frank, the iconic department store in Oregon history. So one of the early kind of pioneers in underwater photography was an Oregonian, F. Harold Macon, and we have a collection of his diving suit, equipment he used for underwater photography. He used it during the Vanport flood of 1948, and other discoveries and emergencies. But you can see what an underwater diving suit would look like there. So. We have, as you can see here, a lot of chairs. Two of my favorites are this pair of chairs right here. They were a wedding gift to Captain Robert Gray. Captain Gray gets credit for discovering the Columbia River in the 1790s. He was the first sailor explorer to enter the bar and to sail up the river, and gets credit, named the river after his ship. It was the Columbia Rita Vita. As I say, he gets credit for discovering the river, even though as he sailed up the river, the Native Americans, the indigenous people who were there were, waving at him, and apparently, unfortunately, they didn't get credit for discovering the river.
Trunks are one of those things that people use. They were ubiquitous, 100 years ago, but nowadays we only use like rolling suitcases, so people don't know what to do with them. I always tell people our top 3 offers are trunks and playing organs, like pipe organs, and furniture, which you can obviously including chairs. This is one of my favorite trunks in the collection. It's less ornate than a lot of the other trunks that we might have, but I think that it tells such a unique Oregon story. So this was donated by the son of Hisako Saito, who was a Japanese immigrant, and she was incarcerated during World War II, and after incarceration they actually moved to Vanport. So it's this really interesting story of combining 3 things, immigration, incarceration, and then of course the historic World War II era city of Vanport. And recently I found out that the original owner, Hisako Saito, was actually a senryu poet. So it's kind of like haiku. And she completed poetry with a group of others during incarceration, and her poetry is actually on the Japanese American Historical Plaza on Nato Parkway.
And we'll bring you more from our secret warehouse tour next Monday right here on The Story.